Good morning, Nikki. Thank you for your video. In comparison, I actually did something on Texas too. It was the agency I found was West Texas Counseling and Guidance. I actually live in Virginia, but the first thing that popped up was Texas, so I went along with it. I noticed you stated that I think your company's name is, from what I saw from your reference, is Olive Branch Counseling and Training. Um, I like that you stated that they really focus on philosophy and attention to minors, to working with minors. What I saw with West Texas Counseling and Guidance, they really focused. They didn't focus too much on their philosophy. I think because I think this agency is a group agency too. They left it up. They even added a part in that says, uh, "I was informed, or I've had a conversation with my counselor, my individual counselor, about their specific methods and techniques that might be available to me." But it wasn't actually written completely in the actual consent form. Um, some other comparisons. I said that I see that West Texan Counseling and Guidance, when you spoke about the complaint section, the complaints that were, when it spoke about complaints for West Texas Counseling, they didn't give much information. They just gave information on how to contact them or handle a complaint with them. But when it came to handling a complaint or filing a complaint with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the information is not specifically listed. Actually, they mentioned that if you ask, we will provide that information, or the agency will provide that information. That might be a way of trying to handle things in-house versus actually sending it off to somebody else. Um, West Texas Counseling actually did put in a position or a procedures for if there is a death of the counselor who will take up the counseling services behind him or her. Um, However, unlike Olive Branch, there was no specifics on technology or social media mentioned. I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe they don't really engage in social media. Um, I wouldn't imagine so that they would use social media nowadays, but I don't know. Um, Also, what I found very peculiar is that they gave, well, West Texas really focused on the fees and how to, gave a lot of information on the of how they were going to collect fees, but not so much information on, like I said, on philosophy, which I thought would be more of a focus for our counseling agency. But I see that Olive Branch did make some statements about fees and limits of confidentiality, even gave specific amounts for dollars for every minute that would be over 10 minutes during a phone call. I found that to be very interesting in comparison to West Texas. And to answer your question, you posed a question about counseling minors and possible reasons to breach confidentiality. One that comes to mind for me that might be a slight gray area, and it might be based off a value conflict that I might need to work on and keep in mind as I go forward in the program. Um, I would consider breaching confidentiality if the client or the minor client um, disclosed to me they were having unsafe sex practices and it puts others at risk. Um, that would be something I really would have to seek guidance on from a supervisor uh, in order to handle a situation like that. And once again, thank you, Nikki, for your video.